Welcome back. We turn our attention now to the Miami-Dade mayor's race and the latest candidate to join what promises to be a very large field. Jean Monestime has been a county commissioner since 2010 and was the chairman of the commission in 2015. A former school teacher, he was the first Haitian-American elected to the county commission. Commissioner, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
All right, so I ask every candidate, this is my first question always a candidate. Why do you want to be mayor of Miami-Dade County?
Well, Jim, you know, Miami-Dade County currently faces a severe affordability challenge, especially in regards to housing. And it requires a leader who's suffered through poverty and have led on that front as well to address this issue. In order to do that, I want to be mayor so that I can continue to bring that same resolve to the mayor's office and offer solutions that are sustainable and long-term for the people suffering from the affordability issue.
So let's define that issue a little bit more. What do you see as the affordable crisis, or the affordability of Miami-Dade County? I know housing is an issue, wages. Talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing in the community.
Well, for a long time, working people have not been able to pay their bills, and especially when in regards to the cost of housing. Right now, it's affecting a larger pool of people than previously anticipated. This is an issue I'm very well aware of, and there are a number of things we must do in order to solve that problem. First, as mayor, I want to lead the effort in making sure that everybody's paid a living wage. Second, I think we need to invest in building a more competitive workforce. We can do so through partnership with our universities, colleges, and public school system, as well as having labor at the table. And that will help also solve our problem of not just housing, but our climate issues and transportation as well. Because if we desire to attract businesses, corporations, and expand our economy, we cannot do that without having the right amount of housing stocks, and also making sure that we have an efficient transit system that our workers will utilize.
Transit lines have to go where people are living.
Yes.
You talked about a living wage earlier. How do you define a living wage? The county has its own definition, but how do you define a living wage? And for instance, are you supportive of the idea of a $15 an hour mandatory minimum wage?
I'm supporting of that, but what is lost in the conversation is that with inflation, we've been having this conversation for quite a while now about a $15 living wage. But with inflation, to a certain extent, it may require that, you know, the well-minded leaders pay more than $15. But I think most workers will be willing to live with the $15 wage right now, if possible.
Well, workers may be willing to live with it, but you may get some pushback from businesses. Some business owners have always said that a $15 minimum wage may force them to lay off employees.
Well, you know, I met with a major CEO, the CEO of a large corporation about a month ago. And he was explaining to me, after I led the effort through my prosperity initiative when I was chairman of the board, he decided to offer a $15 minimum wage to everybody in his organization. And I asked him, you know, weren't you hurt by this decision? How did that affect your bottom line? He said, you know what, short term I might have lost, but long term and mid-term my company has gained through retention, because more people have decided to stay with my company, and my turnover rate is less and less because of the higher wage. So again, we cannot just talk about wages, because not every company will be able to do that. But investing mid-term and long-term and building a more competitive workforce, that's the way to go.
You mentioned earlier in your lead up to talking about the affordability crisis as one of the attributes you have is somebody who has actually lived it themselves.
Yes.
Talk about your personal story and how you think that inures to your benefit, that makes you a little bit more qualified, a little bit more sensitive to this issue.
Well, I think this is the experience that connects me with most voters in this county, Jim. I talk about growing poor and coming to the United States as a 17-year-old boy. And after arriving here, I put myself through school. get myself trained and become a professional. And along the way, have people on my route that give me a temporary hand in order to put me on the right path. It could be mentorship. It could be, providing me with advice. And that's one of the things that I want to do as well. As mayor, I want to make sure that one way we help lift families up is making sure that every high school student have a summer job in this county. Jim, this is something that will probably bring a summer job to at least 17 to 20,000 students in our county. And if we do that, we help these families, because when a mother or a father, especially a single mother right now, has to not only pay her bill, but also subsidize the efforts or the, giving a stipend to her daughter or his son on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, that make life financially more painful for this particular parent. So my job as mayor is that I'm going to endeavor to give 20,000 a summer job to qualified students in our public school system.
I'm curious, you said you came here as a 17-year-old. What was it like to arrive in Miami as a 17-year-old? Did you have a family support? I mean, what was it exactly that you walked into here in South Florida?
I had a sister here who had been in the country for about 3 months before I arrived, who didn't speak English. And so much so that after I arrived, when I asked to be registered at school as a 17-year-old, I was led to Lindsay Hopkins. And while there, it was a teacher who told me, "Are you only 17 years old? This is not the right place for you. Why don't you register at a regular high school?" And directed me to Miami Edison. So it was quite a journey. But thank God this is America, and I'm able to sit at the table right now at a county commissioner, bringing forth policies to help alleviate the life of people who've been through the same situation I've been through.
You represent one of the poorest, I think it's the second poorest commission district, District 2, which includes parts of Miami, Liberty City, up along that corridor, Little Haiti. There's also tremendous violence there as well. What would you do to sort of stem the flow of violence that we've seen in our community?
Well, violence, violence, housing, climate change, transportation, all these things are byproducts of your financial status. Okay, that's exactly why, since becoming a commissioner, I've endeavored day in and night in to make sure that we offer better opportunity to our people. And look at the development that we've, smart development that we've helped brought to our district since. So as per the current statistics, crime has gone down, not just in my district, but countywide. So this is something that we're very proud of, and then we need to continue to build on that and offer greater opportunities to people in our county.
If you were elected, you would be the first African-American or Haitian-American to be a mayor of Miami-Dade County. Is Miami-Dade County ready to elect someone who looks like you, someone who speaks like you with an accent, from Haiti? Is there a challenge that you're facing in terms of running that you think that you're going to have to overcome? Is Miami open to it?
Well, Jim, somebody like me doesn't look at the challenge and be content with that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here. At the end of the day, everybody who knows me knows that I'm very proud of my heritage. I'm very proud of my background. I tell people who I am and where I came from and how I get to where I am. But this is a very vibrant and diverse community that we're part of. And I connect with that community. I know what people, irrespective of where they come from, are dealing with if they are working individuals or middle income or young professionals in our community. I've been through these issues. I've dealt with these issues. I've lived these issues. And I've spent my tenure in the county commission fighting for an affordable life, fighting for better housing, fighting for a better mass transit system. And I think that's what people will see through me. That's how I connect with them. And with that, I think they're going to elect me mayor of Miami-Dade County.
You've been on the commission, as you said, fighting on these issues since 2010. What's been the most frustrating aspect of serving on this particular county commission? And the public, I don't know that they have a very good view of the county commission, and I'm not sure they see the county commission doing the things that need to get done in this community. How would you address that?
Well, that's was part of my frustration as a small business owner becoming an elected official. Government is move a whole lot slower than businesses, and that's an understanding I want to bring to the table as a small business owner, as someone who's been in the private sector, making sure that we lead in a way that we can effectuate change in a more rapid fashion. So one thing I think the next mayor of this county must do, Jim, is look at our issues and lead from a regional perspective instead of from a local perspective, because all these issues that we face with, they affect the entire region. And for too long, the leaders in our county has been busy managing our issues because we were in the middle of a recession. But right now, it's time to take our county to the next level and learn and lead, forgive me, from a regional perspective, and show that there are ways of being inclusive and bringing more people to the table and making industry, labor, and whomever is a stakeholder in our community a part of our decision making.
Commissioner Monestime, I appreciate your coming in. I'm sure as this campaign develops, we'll have more conversations, drill in on some of those issues that are important to you, and I appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure being here, Jim. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, we'll be right back after the break.